actually because of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, like our like 2013 or whatever when this book came out. It's like right along concept of rot. It's like it's story of talking about.
So I was writing a letter to you telling you that
Yeah.
Oh, I
That was really good.
You got it.
Oh, yeah. No, actually.
Sorry, it was a picture. It was just a picture.
It was like a little cartoon.
Yeah.
Let's get a little
It
cartoon
was a
dog.
picture of you.
That's a picture of me?
Wait, didn't we
A little cartoon picture of me? Yeah. Oh, stop that.
It was really cute.
So I have like big eyes.
I read Lord of the Flies again. So you didn't get it? I like to Lord of the Flies, okay?
Yo! It's just amazing.
Well, you know what? We have to set the show soon.
We are live in 5, 4, 3.
This is WBFR, Playhouse of the Air. Thank you, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings from WBFR Studio A in Manhattan, New York, right here in the US of A. I'm your host, Freddie Fillmore, and it is my pleasure to bring you your favorite stories this and every week on WBFR Playhouse of the Air. Thank you. Tonight, we bring you a real feel-good heartwarmer perfect for this or any Christmas Eve. It's A Wonderful Life. We begin our story in the little town of Bedford Falls, New York, where a number of people in the town are praying for their dear friend, a typical American named George Bailey.
Dear God, please look after my husband,
George is a good boy, you know that. My son has always gone out of his way to give others a hand. Now it's him who needs the
Help my big brother George. He's done so much for all of us, more for me than I
remember all the times he would stay late after work and not ask a cent. The world needs more like George Bailey.
Never thinks about himself. I wouldn't have a roof over my head if
it wasn't for him, I would have given up long ago. All I think about is myself. I must have taken the last cent he had.
The voices carry heavenward, and Joseph, the superintendent of angels, summons Clarence, an apprentice angel.
You sent for me, sir?
Yes, Clarence. A man down on Earth needs our help.
Oh, splendid. Is he sick?
No. Worse. He's discouraged. At exactly 10:45 p.m. tonight, Earth time, that man will be thinking seriously of throwing away God's greatest gift.
Oh dear, his life? Then I've only half an hour to dress. Oh, what are they wearing
You
now?
will spend that half hour getting acquainted with George Bailey.
Sir, if I should accomplish this mission, might I perhaps win my wings? It's been over 200 years now and people are beginning to talk.
What's that book you've got with you?
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, sir.
Well, you do a good job of George Bailey, and we'll see about your wings.
Oh, thank you.
If you're going to help George, you'll want to know a little something about him. Look, see the town?
Why, yes. A group of young boys sledding down a snow-covered hill and onto the ice.
Yippee!
Who's that?
That's George Bailey when he was 12, back in 1919. Something happens here you'll have to remember later on.
Here comes the scare baby, my kid brother, Harry Bailey.
Big scaredy cat.
Scared?
Yeah, come on, Harry.
Help!
Harry's fallen through the ice.
I'm coming, Harry. Make a chain, gang.
His brother fell through the ice, and George saved him.
Yes, but the icy water gave George a bad ear. It was weeks before he could return to his after-school job at Old Man Gower's drugstore.
It's me, Mr. Gower, George Bailey.
You're late.
2 cents worth of shoelaces, Violet.
Please, Georgie. I like him. You like every boy. What's wrong with that?
Here you are.
Bye, Georgie. See you later, Mary.
Made up your mind yet, Mary?
I'll take chocolate.
With coconuts?
I don't like coconuts.
You don't like coconuts? Say, brainless, don't you know where coconuts come from? Look at here, from Tahiti, the Fiji Islands, the Coral Sea.
Is that a new magazine? I never saw it before.
Of course you never. Only us explorers can get it. I've been nominated for the membership of the National Geographic Society. Now let me get you your ice cream.
Is this the ear you can't hear on? George Bailey, I'll love you till the day I die.
I'm going exploring someday. Wait and see.
George! You're not paid to be a canary.
Yes,
Bye,
sir.
George.
Goodbye, Mary. Yes, sir.
What was that piece of paper George just picked up?
It's a telegram for Mr. Gower.
Oh.
He found out this morning that his son died of influenza, and he spent the afternoon drowning his grief in whiskey.
Mr. Gower, do you need anything?
No.
I'll get them, sir.
Take those capsules over to Miss
Oh,
Blaine's.
they have the diphtheria there,
Oh,
haven't they?
get going!
Yes, sir. Mr. Gower, you put something wrong in those capsules.
Who do you think you're talking to?
You're hurting my sore ear.
Oh, did you hear what I said? Get out of here!
Mr. Gower, I know you got that telegram and you're upset,
Oh,
but look at the bottle you used. It's poison.
Poison!
Don't hit my sore ear again.
Poison! Oh, George! George!
All I wanted was to make sure, Mr. Gower. I won't ever tell a soul. Hope to God I won't.
Did he ever tell anyone about those pills?
Not a soul.
Did he ever marry the girl? Did he ever go exploring?
We'll get there soon enough, Clarence. George wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't the money. So he worked 4 years in the Building and Loan Association.
A building and loan association?
George's father was in the Building and Loan, along with George's Uncle Billy. George, what's the combination to the safe?
We wrote it down so you wouldn't forget
That's right, kid. Where?
Who's that?
That's Henry F. Potter, the richest and meanest man in all the county. Oh, Peter. Potter's here. Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey, Mr. Bailey. There's nothing quite so loathsome as a family business. Now, you know what I'm here for. I'm on a very tight schedule. A family to evict at 3.
Okay then, Mr. Potter. Here's the thing. I'll just need a bit more time. I can dig up that 5,000 somehow.
Any pressure on those people of yours to pay their mortgages?
Times are hard, Mr. Potter. A lot of people are out of work.
Then foreclose.
I can't do that. These families have children.
Are you running a business or a charity?
Mr.
board?
Potter, what makes you such a hard-skulled character? You have no family, no children. You can't even begin to spend all the money that you've got.
So I suppose I should give it to miserable failures like you and that idiot brother of yours that spent it for me.
You can't call my father a failure.
All right, son,
Don't let him
thanks.
say that about you, Pa.
What kind of business are you running here? George worked and saved enough to see him through the university, but first, he was going to Europe. Old Man Gower surprised him with a gift of a great big suitcase. On his way home from the store, George ran into his friends Ernie, the cab driver, and Bert, the cop.
Hey, Ernie.
Hiya, George.
Hey, Bert.
Hi, George. Where's that suitcase for?
Oh, I'm a rich tourist today. How about driving me home in style?
Sure, Your Highness, hop in the cab. And as for the carriage trade, I puts on my hat.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bailey. My, looks like you're ready to get out of here.
Hello, Violet. Hey, that's some dress. You look good.
Oh, this old thing? Why, I only wear it when I don't care how I look. See you later.
Wanna come along, Bert? We'll show you the town.
No, thanks. Think I'd better go on home and see what the wife's doing.
Family man.
That night, George had dinner with his father.
Boy, my last supper in the Bailey boarding house.
We're sure going to miss you, George. I just wish there was a way to send Harry to college with you.
We have that all figured out. Harry will take my job at the Building and Loan for 4 years, and then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
No younger than I was.
You were born older, George. So have you given any thought to what you're going to do once you're out of college?
What I've always talked about. Building things. Plan new buildings. Design modern cities.
It's just a hope, but you wouldn't consider coming back to the Building and Loan, would you? I know it's early to talk about it.
Oh, I couldn't face being cooped up in that shabby little office for the rest of my life. I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean that remark, but This business of spending your whole life trying to save 3 cents on a length of pipe? I'd go crazy. I want to do something big and important.
You know, George, I can't help but feel that in a small way we are doing something big and important. It's not too much for a man to want his own roof and walls and fireplace, and we're helping him get those things in our shabby little office.
I know, Dad, but most of my friends have already finished college. I feel like if I didn't get away now, I'd bust.
You're right, son. This town's no place to live if you aren't willing to crawl to Potter. Get your education, then get out of here.
I'm glad you see what I'm talking about. Hey, maybe I'll say goodbye to Main Street, last night in town and all.
Have a good time, son.
Hello, Georgie Porgy.
Hello, Vi.
Where are you going?
I'll probably just end up at the library.
Don't you ever get tired of just reading about things?
Yeah. Well, what are you doing tonight?
Not a thing, Georgie.
Are you game, Vi? What do you say we make a night of it?
Of course, I'd love to. What do we do?
Let's go out into the fields and take off our shoes and walk in the grass.
What?
And then we can go up to Stewart Lake. Oh, it's beautiful up there, up in the moonlight.
Oh.
And then we can swim. And we can climb Mount Bedford and smell the pines and watch the sun rise against the peaks. And we can stay up there the whole night. And everybody will be talking. And there'll be a terrific scandal.
George, have you gone crazy? Walk in the grass in my bare feet? Why, it's 10 miles up there to Mount Bedford.
I just thought that.
You think just because you...
Well, just forget about the whole thing.
Hee-haw! Forget about what, George?
Oh, nothing, Sam.
You remember Mary, don't you?
Hi, George.
Hi, Mary.
You wouldn't mind walking Mary home now, would you?
That wouldn't be a problem. Is that all right with you, Mary?
Fine by me.
Oh, great, thanks. Hee-haw! George walked Mary home. Is that important, Joseph?
I'd say it is, because even though Mary lived only 4 blocks away, it took them 2 hours to get there.
Ooh.
Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight?
And dance by the light of the moon. Hot dog, just like an organ. Gee whiz.
Beautiful.
If it wasn't me talking, I'd say you were the prettiest girl in town.
Well, why don't you say it?
I don't know, maybe I will. Wait, hey, look where we are.
Oh, the old Granville house.
Yeah, I gotta throw a rock.
No, don't. I love that old house.
Don't you know the thing about deserted houses? You make a wish and then you throw a rock.
But George, it's such a lovely old place. I wish I lived there.
I wouldn't live there if I were a ghost. Now watch this. Pretty good shot, huh? Broke a window.
What's your wish, George?
Not one wish. A whole hatful, Mary. I'm shaking the dust off this crummy little town off my feet, and I'm going to see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. And then I'll come back here and I'll go to college and see what they know. And then I'm going to do what I've always talked about. Building things. Build skyscrapers 100 stories high and bridges a mile long. Well, what about you, Mary? You going to throw a rock too? Hey, that's a pretty good shot. What'd you wish for, Mary?
If I tell you, it may not come true.
What do you want, Mary? Do you want the moon? All you gotta do is say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Okay, I'll take it. And then what?
And then you could swallow it. And it all dissolves, see? And the moonbeams would shoot out of your fingers and your toes and the ends of your hair and Am I talking too much?
Yes! Why don't you just kiss her instead of talking her to death?
Well, who's that?
Old man Collins on his front porch.
Oh, youth is wasted on the wrong people!
Hey, mister, come back out here and I'll show you some kissing that'll put your hair right back on your head.
George!
Uncle Billy?
George, get in the car, quick! Your father's had a stroke!
I'm sorry, Mary, I have to go.
George's father died that night, Clarence, so George couldn't go to Europe. That fall, just as he was getting ready to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan held a meeting. They were going to appoint a successor.
If you look at the stocks and bonds, it's clear that we've been hemorrhaging.
I want the board to know that George gave up his trip to Europe to help straighten things out here the past few months. And it was greatly appreciated. I think that's all we'll need for you, George. Good luck to you at school. I know you're anxious to make a train.
Yeah, I have a taxi waiting downstairs.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to get to my real purpose. I claim this institution is not necessary to this town. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to dissolve the building in loan.
What gives you right?
It is too soon
absolutely
after
right.
Peter Bailey's death to discuss chloroforming the building in loan. His faith and devotion were responsible for this organization.
I'll go further than that. I'll say Peter Bailey was the building in loan.
Oh, that's fine, Potter. Coming from you, considering you drove him to his grave.
Peter Bailey was not a businessman. That's what killed him. He was a man of high ideals without common sense. And what does that get us but a discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class? All because a few starry-eyed dreamers like Peter Bailey stir them up and fill their heads with a lot of impossible hooey. Now, I say
Just
that
a minute, Mr. Potter. You're right when you say my father was no businessman.
Yes.
Why he ever started this building in loan, I'll never know. But you can't say anything about his character. Why, in the 25 years since Uncle Billy and him started this thing, he never once thought about himself. But he did help a few people get out of your slums, Mr. Potter. And this lazy rabble you're talking about do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community. Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? My father didn't think so. People were human beings to him. But to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. In my book, he died a much richer man than you will ever be.
I am not interested in your book.
You're the board. You do what you want with this thing. But just remember that this town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place they can come without crawling a Potter. Come on, Uncle Billy.
I want my motion.
They're just coming out of the board meeting. I'll have to call you back. What happened, George? All we heard was yelling.
Oh boy, Matilda, you should have heard, George.
Voting us down in there.
Oh.
They're putting us out of business. So what? I can get another job. I'm only 52.
You're 58.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
George, they voted Potter down.
We're still in business.
Under the one condition that you take your father's place, George.
I'm going to college. Uncle Billy here, he's your man.
You can keep him on, that's all right.
But I'm going to school.
But they'll vote with
This is
Potter
my last
otherwise.
So George Bailey didn't go to college.
That's right, Clarence. He gave his college money to his brother instead and waited 4 years for Harry to come back and take over the building alone. Then he could still see the world.
Darcy blows. Say, Uncle Billy, you know what the three most wonderful sounds on earth are?
Yeah. A breakfast is served, lunch is served, and dinner is served.
Anchor chains, plane motors, and train whistles. Here comes the professor
Well,
now.
if it isn't George Geographic Explorer Bailey. Uncle Billy, you haven't changed a bit.
Oh, my, glad to see you.
Hey, where's Mother?
Oh, she's at home cooking the fatted calf. Come on, let's go.
Oh, wait. This is Ruth Dakin.
Ruth Dakin Bailey, if you don't mind.
Well, I wired you I had a surprise. Here she is. Meet the wife.
What do you know?
Yeah.
Why?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Harry, why didn't you tell somebody?
Yeah,
What's a pretty girl like you doing marrying this two-headed brother of mine?
No, I wouldn't say.
Oh, it's purely mercenary. My father gave him a job.
Well, that's not exactly.
He gets you and a job. Harry's come running over. Come on, Ruth. Let's start ahead and leave the bags for the fellas.
Oh,
Okay.
well, all right.
All right.
George, about that job, I never said I'd take it. You've been holding the bag here for 4 years, and I promise I won't let you down.
And that night, the homecoming for Harry became his wedding party. Uncle Billy familiarized himself with the spirits. Boy, oh boy, I feel so good I could spit in Potter's eye. I think I will. What do you say? Baby, I should go home if you just point me in the right direction.
Right down there.
Oh, right that way?
Oh,
Okay, I'll build a lone pal. I'll see you later. Ow.
George?
Out here on the porch, Mother.
Well, how do you like your new sister-in-law?
Oh, she's swell.
It looks like she'll keep Harry on his toes.
Yeah, keep him out of Bedford Falls anyway.
George, do you know Mary Hatch is back from school?
Yeah?
Nice girl, Mary, the kind who will help you find all the answers.
Uh-huh.
Give me one good reason why you shouldn't call on her.
Well, Sam Wainwright. Sam's crazy about
Well,
her.
she's not crazy about him.
And how do you know that? Did she discuss it with you?
Besides, Sam's in New York and you're here in Bedford Falls.
And all's fair in love and war?
I don't know about war.
Okay, you know what? I think I might go out and find the girl and do a little passionate necking.
Oh, George.
Bye, Miss Bailey. By the way, do you want any books at the library?
The library? George, you go and see Mary, you hear?
Hello, George.
Hello, Mary. I just happened to be passing by.
Your mother just phoned and said you were on your way.
Wait, my mother just called you? Wait, how did she know? I just happened to be passing by. I went for a walk and, Wait, when did you get back?
Tuesday? Would you like to come in?
Well, I guess, since I'm here. Hey, that's some dress.
Do you like it?
It's all right. I thought you'd go back to New York with Sam and the rest of them.
Oh, I worked there a couple of vacations, but I don't know. I guess I was homesick.
Homesick for Bedford Falls?
Yes, and my family and everything.
I still can't understand it, though. I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
Would you rather leave?
Well, I don't want to be rude.
It was nice about Harry and Ruth, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's all right.
Don't you like her?
Well, of course I like her. She's a peach.
It's just marriage in general you're not enthusiastic about?
Well, no. Marriage is okay for, Harry and Sam and you.
Mary? Who are you talking to?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What does he want?
I don't know. What do you want, George?
Oh, me? Not a thing. I just came in to get warm.
He's making violent love to me, Mother.
You tell him to go right back home. Sam Wainwright promised to call from New York tonight.
Your mother didn't
he?
need to. I didn't mean to do anything.
What did you come here for?
I don't know. You're supposed to be the one who has all the answers. You tell me.
Why don't you go home?
Well, that's where I'm going.
Mary, the telephone. It's Sam.
I'll get it. Hee-haw! Hello, Sam. How are you?
Oh, great. Gee, it's good to hear your voice again.
Oh, well, that's awfully sweet of you, Sam. There's an old friend of yours here, George Bailey.
You mean old Mossback George? Well, hee-haw, put him on.
Wait a minute, I'll call him. George.
He doesn't want to speak to George.
He asked for him. George, Sam wants to speak to you.
Hello, Sam.
Hey, a fine pal you are. What are you trying to do, steal my girl?
Nobody's trying to steal your girl.
I want to talk to both of you. Tell Mary to get on the extension.
Mother's on the extension.
I am not.
He can both hear you. George, put your head a little closer.
Okay.
That's better. We're listening, Sam.
I have a big deal coming up that's going to make us all rich. George, you remember that night at Martini's bar when you told me about making plastics out of soybeans?
Yeah, soybeans.
Well, my father's checked into it and wants to build a factory outside of Rochester. How do you like that?
Rochester? Why Rochester?
Why not? Can you think of anything better?
Well, what's the matter with right here in Bedford Falls?
Huh?
You know that old tool and machinery works?
Yeah?
You tell your father he can get that for a song, and all the labor he wants too. Half of town was thrown out of work when it closed down.
That's so. Well, that sounds great. Now, here's the point, George. I may have a job for you. That is unless you're still married to the old broken down building and loan. Oh, Mary.
I'm here.
Tell that guy I'm giving him the chance of a lifetime.
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Give me that phone. Now you listen here, Mary. I don't want any job, and I don't want any plastics, and I don't want to get married ever to anyone. Do you understand that? I want to do what I want to do. And if... Oh, Mary.
George.
Oh, Mary, I love you.
George, I love you too.
George and Mary were married. And following the wedding and reception, George's old pal Ernie, the cab driver, drove the happy couple to the train station.
Where are you two off to on this here now honeymoon?
We're going to shoot the works. A whole week in New York and then Bermuda. The highest hotels, the oldest champagne, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife.
Here's the kitty, Ernie, $2,000.
Wow.
I feel like a bootlegger's
Oh,
wife.
you're finally getting out of Bedford Falls, huh? Then what?
Then what, honey?
After that, who cares?
Hey, George, there's something funny going on over there. Look, over there at the bank, it looks like a run.
Pull over a minute, will you, Ernie?
George, let's not stop, please.
Don't mind that. I'll be right back. Don't worry. What is this, Uncle Billy? A holiday? There's a crowd out front.
This is a pickle, George.
What happened?
The bank called her loan and I had to hand out all of her cash.
Wait, all of it?
Every last cent of it.
Holy mackerel!
And then I got scared, George.
Well, open the doors, let them in.
All right.
What's going on?
This is ridiculous, buddy.
You run a
I
business,
want
George?
where's my money?
That this thing isn't as black as it appears.
Oh, how's that? How's that?
Yes, huh?
You're thinking of this place all wrong. Your money's
wrong.
not here.
We're thinking of
Your
this
money's
place
in
wrong.
people's houses.
Oh, I wanted
How
it in
can
McKinley
my
House.
that help me?
In the Kennedy House.
Oh, the Kennedy.
100
The Kennedys
others.
do my money,
What are you
huh?
going to do? Foreclose on them?
I have $242 in here, George, and $242 isn't going to break anybody.
That's what I'm talking
You'll
about.
get your money in 60 days, Charles.
60 days?
That's what you agreed to when you bought your shares.
I got my money.
Oh?
Old man Potter's taking over the bank. You'll pay out 50 cents on every dollar.
Well, why don't we just go over
That
there?
sounds like a much better
If Potter gets a hold of your shares, he'll own this building and loan.
Maybe he should,
He's
George.
got the bus line, he's got the department stores, he's got the bank, and now always after us. Because he wants to keep you guys living in his shacks and paying the kind of rent he decides. Now, we can get through this together. All we need to do is have faith in each other.
My husband is out of work. We need the money.
I got doctor's bills to pay.
How much do you need? We've got $2,000 from the wedding.
Hey, Mary, I have $2,000 right here. This will tide us over until the bank reopens. All right, Charlie, how much do you need?
$242.
Charlie, just enough to tide you
I'll
over.
take $242.
Okay, Uncle Billy, give Charlie here $242.
Thank you.
What about you, Ed? How much do you need?
$20, I suppose.
Now we're talking. Miss Thompson, what about you?
But it's your own money,
Never
George.
mind that. How much, Miss Thompson?
Could I have $17.50?
Bless your heart. Of course you can have it. Pay it back when you can. All right, who's next?
Oh, look at the clock. Look.
5 seconds. 4 seconds.
3,
3, 2, 1. Lock those doors. Uncle Billy, we're still in business.
Bailey Brothers Building and... Okay. George, there's a call for you.
Get my wife on the phone, please.
Mrs. Bailey is on the phone.
I don't want Miss Bailey. I want my wife. Miss Bailey. Oh, that's my wife. Put her on. Oh, come home? What home? 320 Sycamore. Well, now, whose home is that? The Waldorf Hotel? Huh?
That doesn't look like the Waldorf.
Oh, no. Number 320 Sycamore was the old Granville house.
Oh.
The one George and Mary threw rocks at and made wishes. Mary had prepared the home, including a turkey dinner, romantic decorations, and even a marriage bed.
Oh, my.
That's right.
Welcome home, Mr. Bailey.
Well, I'll be.
Remember the night we broke the windows of this old house? This is what I wished for.
Darling, you're wonderful.
Yes, that's where they spent their honeymoon. That's where they started their lives together. Mary made the leaky old house a home, while George toiled away at the building and loan office.
Oh, gee. Mary Hatch, why in the world would you ever marry a guy like me anyway?
To keep from being an old maid.
I was gonna give you the moon. But what have I given you? Not even a new dress, not for months. You could have married Sam Wainwright, anybody else in town.
I didn't want to marry anybody else in town. I want my baby to look like you.
I mean, I didn't even give you the honeymoon that you... Wait, what?
My baby.
Wait, Mary, you're on the nest?
George Bailey lost us the stork.
Well, Mary had her baby. A boy.
You don't say.
Then she had a girl. Night after night, George came home late from the office. Things weren't good with the building and loan. Potter was bearing down hard, and then came the war. Mary had another baby by then, but still had time to run the USO. Old Man Gower and Uncle Billy sold war bonds. Violet entertained the troops. Bert the cop was wounded in North Africa and got the Silver Star. Ernie the cab driver parachuted in the front, but Harry Bailey topped them all. A Navy flyer, he shot down 15 planes, 2 of them as they were about to crash into a transport full of soldiers.
But what about George?
4F on account of his ear, George fought the Battle of Bedford Falls. Air Raid Warden, paper drives, scrap drives, rubber drives. On VE Day, he wept and prayed. On VJ Day, he wept and prayed again.
We're getting pretty close to today now, aren't we, sir?
Yes, Clarence. You know now almost everything there is to know about George Bailey, except what finds him down there at this moment wanting to die. Today's the day before Christmas, and Uncle Billy is at the bank to make a deposit when he runs into Old Man Potter.
Well, Mr. Henry F. Potter. Come to the bank to deposit some more loot. How do you like the news in the newspaper, Mr. Potter? Harry Bailey wins Congressional Medal of Honor. Let me see that newspaper. Go on and keep it. I'm off to make a deposit.
Good morning, Mr. Bailey.
Good evening, Horace. Here you are. Deposit slip, bank book, and a very Merry Christmas to you.
You too, Mr. Bailey. You want to make a deposit?
Well, certainly.
Well, it's customary to bring the money with you.
Where'd I put it? Where'd I put that money? Where's that money? A terrible thing, Clarence. Uncle Billy couldn't find the money because the envelope of the $8,000 was folded up in that newspaper he gave to Old Man Potter.
Oh no.
At the same time as Uncle Billy searched for the money, Violet came to visit George at the building and loan.
Oh, hello, Vi. Oh, what's wrong?
You see right through me, don't you?
How much do you need?
I hate doing this to you, George, but I won't be asking for any more after this.
You planning on robbing a bank, Vi?
I'm going to Manhattan.
What's in Manhattan?
Why, everything's in Manhattan. A new start, at least.
That's a big step, Vi. What's the matter with starting a new life right here in Bedford Falls?
Well, I'll be. Never thought I'd hear that from you, George Bailey. I thought you hated this place.
I did, but this town has a charm of its own.
Well, I've made a decision. There's a midnight train tonight, and I plan to be on it.
It takes a lot of character to pick up all your stuff and move somewhere else. Here's some dough.
No, George, don't.
What do you want to do? Hawk your furs and that hat? Want to walk to New York? You know they charge for food and rent just the same as they do here in Bedford Falls.
Yeah, sure.
It's a loan. That's my business, building and loan. Besides, you'll get a job. Good luck to you.
I'm glad I know you, George Bailey. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
George!
Oh, what's the matter, Uncle Billy?
The money, the $8,000.
What happened to it?
I thought I had it. I just don't know what happened.
Well, the first place you look is in your coat pocket. That's where I told you to put it when you left.
I'm no good to you, George. I'm no good.
We've got to find that money. Think, Uncle Billy.
I can't think anymore, George.
Where's that money, you silly, stupid old fool?
George.
Do you realize what this means? It means bankruptcy and scandal and prison. Well, one of us is going to jail, and well, it's not going to be me.
Where's your coat and hat?
Left them at the office.
Isn't it wonderful about Harry? We're famous, George. I'll bet I had 50 calls today about the parade and banquet.
Yeah, must she keep playing that?
I have to practice for the party tonight, Daddy.
Daddy, Mommy says we can stay up and sing Christmas carols until midnight.
Better hurry and shave. The families will be here soon.
Family? I don't want families over here.
Excuse me.
Have a hectic day?
Oh, yeah. Another big red letter day for the Baileys.
Daddy, the Browns next door have a new car. You should see it.
Well, what's the matter with our cars? Isn't that good enough for you?
Yes, Daddy.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Excuse you for what?
Hey, Bub.
All right, darling, you're excused. Now go upstairs and see what little Zuzu wants.
Hey, what's the matter with Zuzu?
She caught a cold coming home from school.
Great.
They gave her a flower and she didn't want to crush it, so she didn't button up her coat. The doctor says it's nothing serious.
Is the doctor here?
I called him right away.
Is she running a temperature?
Just a teensy one.
Gosh, it's this old house. I don't know why we all don't have pneumonia. This drafty old barn might as well be living in a refrigerator.
George, what's wrong?
Everything's wrong. Why did we have to have all these kids? You call this a happy family?
Dad, how do you spell frankincense?
I don't know. Ask your mother.
Where are you going?
Up to see Zuzu.
Hi, Daddy.
Well, what happened to you?
I want a flower.
Where do you think you're going?
I want to give my flower a drink.
Here, give Daddy the flower, and I'll give it a drink.
Look, Daddy, some of the petals came off. Paste it.
All right. There it is. Good as new.
We'll give the flower a drink.
There. Okay. But you go to sleep, and then you can dream about the flower. And it'll be in a whole garden.
It will?
Uh-huh.
I'll get it. Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Bailey. Thank you, Mrs. Welch. The doctor says she'll be out of bed in time for her Christmas dinner.
Is that Zuzu's teacher?
Yes.
Let me speak to her. Hello, Mrs. Welch? Yeah, this is George Bailey. Say, what kind of teacher are you anyway? What do you mean, sending her home half naked like that?
George.
Is this the thing we pay taxes for? For silly, stupid, careless people like yourself who send our kids home without any clothes on? Oh, that's stupid.
Hello, Mrs. Welch? I want to apologize for... She hung up.
I'll hang her up. Hello? Who is this? Oh, Mr. Welch. Oh, that's fine, Mr. Welch. Gives me a time to tell you what I really think of your wife.
George.
Will you let me handle this? Oh, you will, huh? Uh-huh. Okay, well, anytime you think you're man enough to... Hello?
Daddy, how do you spell hallelujah?
What do you think I am, a dictionary? Janie, haven't you learned that silly old tune yet? You've played it over and over and over and over again. Now just stop it! Just stop it!
George! What are you doing?
I'm sorry, Mary. I didn't mean to. Jenny, go on. Go practice. Go on, play. Pete, I owe you an apology too. What did you want to know?
Nothing, Daddy.
Well, what's the matter with everybody? Janie, go on, practice, go on, play.
Daddy.
George, why must you torture the children? Why don't you just...
Mary,
Where's Daddy going?
Bedford 247, please.
Is Daddy in trouble?
Yes, Pete.
Well, shall I pray for him?
Yes, Janie. Pray very hard.
Okay.
Me too?
You too, Tommy. Hello, Uncle Billy?
So that's it, George. You're short $8,000.
I'll pay any sort of interest, Mr. Potter. If you want the building and loan,
You said it was lost. Did you notify the police?
No, I haven't. With Harry's homecoming tomorrow, it just wouldn't...
Why come to me? Why not go to Sam Wainwright?
Well, I can't get a hold of him. He's in your...
What kind of security would I have, George?
I have a $15,000 life insurance policy.
How much is your equity in it?
$500.
And you what? 8,000?
I don't know what to do.
You used to be so cocky. You were going to go out and conquer the world. Oh, you once called me a whooped, frustrated old man. What are you but a whooped, frustrated young man? Crawling on you on your hands and knees for help. You're worth more dead than you are alive.
I'll do anything, Mr. Potter. Please help me.
You know what I'm going to do for you? As a stockholder of the building loan, I'm going to call a state examiner to get a warrant for your arrest. Misappropriation of funds, manipulation, malfeasance. Go on and run! You can't hide in a little town like this.
Merry Christmas! Glad you come! How about some of that good spaghetti, yeah?
I haven't seen him.
Where's George, sir?
After running out of Potter's office, George ended up at Martini's bar. He's had a couple of drinks and is just sitting there.
Well, what's he saying?
Dear Father in heaven, I'm not a praying man, but if you're up there and you can hear this, show me the way.
Are you all right, George?
Why you would drink so much, my friend? Please, you don't feel good, Mr. Bailey. Go home.
Bailey. Which Bailey?
Oh, this gentleman here is a Mr. George Bailey.
George Bailey, huh? Yeah?
Next time you talk to my wife like that, you'll get worse. It isn't enough that she slaves teaching your stupid kids how to read and write. You gotta ball around too.
You get out of here, Mr. Wedge.
All right, yeah, I'll
my
get
best
going.
friend. You're not
Wise
working
guy.
anymore. Go! I'm sorry about that, Mr. Bailey. Are you okay?
Who was that?
Mr. Welch, but don't worry. You don't come in this place no more. I'll get something for your face. It's bleeding.
I'm all right.
Please, don't go away, Mr. Bailey. Please, don't.
George is headed to the bridge now, Clarence. Can you see him?
It looks like he's going to jump.
It's time, Clarence.
Help! Help me! I can't swim!
Hold it, mister. I'm coming.
What in the Sam Hill are the two of you doing? Now get out of that water!
Are you two all right?
Yeah.
You need a doctor or something?
I'm all right.
I'm fine. Oh, this underwear. I didn't have time to get anything stylish. My wife gave this to me on my last birthday. I passed away in it.
Passed away?
Oh, I see Tom Sawyer's drying out too.
Who?
My book. I left in such a hurry that I brought Tom Sawyer with me. You should really read the new book Mark Twain is working on.
All right.
So, how'd you happen to fall in?
Well, I jumped in so you wouldn't go through with it.
Go through with what?
Suicide.
Suicide is against the law around here.
It's against the law where I come from, too.
Well, where do you come from?
Heaven.
That's just rich.
I had to act quickly. That's why I jumped in. I knew if I were drowning, then you would try to save me. And you did. And that's how I saved you.
Okay, very funny.
Your lip's bleeding, George.
I got a bust in the jaw in answer to a prayer.
Oh, no, George. I'm the answer to your prayer.
How do you know my name?
Oh, I know all about you.
What are you, a mind reader or something?
Oh, no, nothing like that. My name is Clarence Oddbody. AS2.
Oddbody AS... What's that? AS2? What is
Angel second class.
What? You guys might not need a doctor, but I sure do.
Oh, well. Cheerio, my good man.
Now listen here. Why'd you try to save me?
Because I'm your guardian angel.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Ridiculous of you to think of killing yourself over $8,000.
How do you know things like that?
I'm your guardian angel.
Well, you look like about the kind of angel I'd get.
Oh, thank you.
You're sort of a fallen angel, aren't you?
Oh.
Where are your wings?
Well, I haven't earned them yet. That's why I'm only an angel second class. But you can help me get them by letting me help you.
You don't happen to have $8,000 on you, do you?
Oh, no, we don't use money in heaven.
Well, it comes in pretty handy down here, bub. I found it out a little late. I'm worth more dead than alive.
Oh, well, I won't get my wings with that kind of attitude. You just don't know all you've done. If it hadn't been for you...
If it hadn't been for me, everybody will be a lot better off. My wife, my kids, my friends.
This isn't going to be easy.
They'd all be better off if I hadn't been born.
What did you say?
I said I wish I'd never been born.
George, that's wonderful!
Wonderful?
The idea you just gave me, I think that would do it. Okay. There. You have your wish. You've never been born.
Never been born?
Exactly. No worries, no $8,000 to get, nothing. You simply don't exist.
Well, wait, say something else in this ear of mine?
That's right, you can hear out of it again. Don't you see? You're oh, well, you're nobody.
Well, that's the dong honest thing.
Your lips stop bleeding too, George.
What do you know? What happened? I need a drink. What about you, Angel? Do you want a drink?
Well, I don't know.
Come on, we'll go as soon as our clothes are dry.
Our clothes are dry.
That stove's hotter than I thought. Well, let's get dressed and we'll stroll over to Martini's. Oh, excuse me. I'll stroll and you can fly.
I haven't got my wings.
Okay.
Give me a beer and make it snappy.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You
don't mess with the
There's a
big
place to
mice.
sit down. Welcome to the best bar in Bedford Falls.
Bedford Falls? Don't you mean Pottersville?
Pottersville? Where's Martini, your boss?
Look, I'm the boss. You want a drink or don't you?
Yeah, okay, all right. Double bourbon, quick, huh?
And, what's yours, bub?
Oh, I was just thinking of mulled wine. Heavy on the cinnamon, but light on the cloves. Off with you, my lad. Be lively.
Look, mister, we serve hard drinks in here for men who want to get drunk fast.
Oh.
And we don't need any characters around to give the joint an atmosphere.
Oh, wow.
Okay, now just give him the same as I ordered. He's okay.
2 double bourbon.
Hey. Make it any quicker.
What is it about this place? It seems to have changed.
There you go.
All of Bedford Falls has changed. You're getting your wish, George. You're seeing things as if you've never been born. There'll be a lot of stuff around here I'm sure you've never seen before.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, good! Someone's just made it! Oh, every time you hear a bell ring, it means that some angel's just got his wings.
What did you say?
Yeah. Clarence, you better not talk about angels around here.
That's a problem.
Don't they believe in angels?
Well, maybe they believe in them.
So
but,
why
you
should
know.
they be surprised when they see one?
Don't mind him, Nick. He never grew up.
Yeah, right.
Well, how old are you anyway, Clarence?
293.
Oh, sure.
Next May.
All right, that does it. Out you two pixies, through the door or out the window. Well. Look who crawled out from whatever hole he's been hiding in.
It's Mr. Gower.
Didn't I tell you never to come panhandling around here?
Mr. Gower, this is George Bailey. Don't you know me?
Oh, buy me a drink, mister. Just one drink.
Yeah, Binky,
come
throw
on.
the rummy out.
You got it.
No, not again.
Isn't that Mr. Gower, the druggist?
That rumhead spent 20 years in jail for poisoning some kid. If you know him, you must be a jailbird yourself. Binky, Jim Mark, get him out of here.
You got it, boss. All right, you two, here we go.
What's wrong with Mr. Gower?
He doesn't know you, George. And you weren't there to stop him from putting poison into that prescription.
What do you mean I wasn't there? What are you, a hypnotist or something? Why am I seeing all these strange things?
It's because you were never born.
Well, if I was never born, then who am I?
Nobody. You have no identity.
What do you mean? My name is George Bailey.
There is no George Bailey. You have no papers, no cards, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy, nothing.
Wait, Zuzu's petals! My little girl, some petals fell off her flower and I told her I'd paste and I stuck them in my pocket, but they're gone too. Wait, everything's gone!
You've been given a great gift, George. The chance to see what the world would be like without you.
You're as crazy as a bedbug, and you're driving me crazy too. I'm going home to my wife and family.
All right, you know the drill. Hands behind your back, sister.
Why don't you just bust somebody else for a
Oh,
change?
believe me,
That'd
I'd like to.
Hey,
just
officer, where did
stop
the Bailey
Oh.
building and loan move to?
What, the building and what?
The Bailey building and loan was in that building.
Oh, yeah. That went out of business years ago. Now all that's left is this burlesque house.
Hey, not so fast, Copper.
Oh.
I know Potter.
Oh, I'm sure
Hey,
you do,
Violet.
Vi.
Hey, that's Violet Bick.
Believe me, I know.
I know that girl.
Doesn't everyone? Now get out of our way.
Taxi? Hey, Ernie. Take me home. I'm going off my nut.
Where do you live?
Doggone it, Ernie. Don't you start pulling that stuff. 320 Sycamore? Now hurry up.
All right, 320 Sycamore.
Ernie, straighten me out here, right? I've got some bad liquor or something.
right.
Now you're Ernie Bishop and you live with your wife and kid in Bailey Park, right?
You've seen my wife?
Seen your wife? I've been to your house 100 times.
What's the idea? I live in a shack in Pottersfield, and my wife ran away 3 years ago and took the kid. And I ain't never seen you before in my life.
Yeah, okay, just step on it. Just get me home.
All right, is this the place?
Of course it's the place.
This here house ain't been lived in for 20 years.
Mary? Pete? Tommy, Janie, Zuzu, I'm home.
They're not here, George. You have no children.
What have you done with them, Clarence?
All right, put up your hands, both of you. No fast moves.
Bert, thank heavens you're here. That fellow over there says he's an angel.
Hey, don't make me use my nightstick.
Bert, I hate to do this, but...
Ugh. Run, George! Run!
Ma Bailey's boarding house. Wait, Mother?
Mother! What do you want?
Mother, I'm George. I thought sure you'd remember me.
If you're looking for a room, there's no vacancy.
Mother, please try to understand. Something's happened to me and I need a place to stay. Please let me stay
I don't
here.
take in strangers.
I'm not a stranger. I know everybody you know. Your brother-in-law, Uncle Billy.
Oh, when'd you see him last?
Today over at his house?
That's a lie. He's been in the insane asylum ever since he lost his business, and if you ask me, that's where you belong.
I'm here again, George.
My own mother didn't even know me.
One man's life touches so many others. When he isn't around, he leaves a pretty big hole, doesn't he?
Look, you. I've heard of things like this before. You've got me under some kind of spell or something. Well, I'm gonna snap out of it. Now let me think. Bailey Park!
George, there is no Bailey Park if you weren't here to build it!
Yeah, we'll see. What's this graveyard doing where Bailey Park is supposed to be? Look at this gravestone. Why is my brother Harry's name written on it?
Harry broke through the ice and drowned at age 9.
That's a lie. He went to war. He won the Congressional Medal of Honor. He saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died. Harry wasn't there to save him because you weren't there to save Harry. Don't you see, George? You really did live a wonderful life. Don't you see what a mistake it would be to throw it all away?
What happened to Mary, Clarence?
I'm not supposed to tell you, George.
I don't know how you know the things you do, but please just let me see her. Where is she?
You're not going to like it, George. She's an old maid.
What? Where is she?
She's just about to close up the library. There must be some easier way to earn my wings.
Is the library closed?
It's Christmas Eve. We can't stay open all night.
Mary, I'm sorry.
How do you know my name?
Please, just 2 minutes. That's all I need.
You sound desperate. I'll help if I can. What is
Isn't
it?
this town Bedford Falls?
It used to be, but then Potter was elected and renamed the town Pottersville.
Mary Hatch, you live in a white Victorian on Reed Street with your mother and you have an older brother named
How do
Marty.
you know all this? Get your hands
Don't
off
you
me,
know
I'll
me,
call
Mary?
Get
Mary,
away from
you
me!
must, Mary.
Get
It's
away from
George.
me! Help,
Oh,
police!
Mary, don't do this to me. Mary, you're my wife. Help me, Clarence. Get me back. I don't know what's happened, but just get me back to my wife and kids. Please, Clarence, help me. I want to live again. I want to live again.
George? Is that you, George?
Bert, you come any closer and I'll hit you again.
What in the Sam Hill are you yelling for, George?
George? Wait, Bert, do you know me?
Know you? I've been looking all over town for you.
I'm alive again, Bert.
You sure you're all right? Your mouth's bleeding.
It is. Hey, my mouth's bleeding. Zuzu's petals, there they are. Well, what do you know about that? Merry Christmas, Bert.
Merry Christmas. Get in the car. I'll drive you home.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls. Merry Christmas, you wonderful old building and loan. Oh, Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter.
Merry Christmas, George. Get on home. The sheriff's waiting for you.
I bet he is. Mary, I'm home.
George.
Hey, what is all this? Merry Christmas, everyone.
Hey, George, I've got a little paper here.
I bet it's a warrant for my arrest.
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful? Merry Christmas.
Is it?
Kids! Pete, Tommy, Janie, Zuzu, you're real. Oh, where's your mother?
She went looking for you with Uncle Billy.
Mary?
George, where have you been? Oh, George.
Mary, is that really you, Mary? You have no idea what's happened.
You have no idea what's happened either. Come on, George, quick, they're on their way.
Who's on their way? The FBI? The National Guard? Let them in. I'm alive again, Mary.
Now you stand right over here by the tree and don't move. George, it's a miracle. Come on in, Uncle Billy, everybody in here.
We get to go.
Isn't it wonderful? Mary did it, George. She told a few people you were in trouble, and they scattered all over town collecting money. And all they said was, if George Bailey is in trouble, you can count on me. You never saw anything like it, ever.
Here you go, $242. Merry Christmas. I busted open the jukebox too.
Mr. Gower.
I made the rounds of my charge accounts.
Violet Bick.
I'm not going to go, George. I changed my mind.
I've been saving this money for a divorce. If I ever get a husband. Anyway, Merry Christmas,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas, George. Thank you for the
Quiet, everybody! Quiet! A telegram from London.
Oh, London.
Mr. Gower cables, you need cash. Stop. My office instructed to advance you up $25,000. Stop. Hee haw and a Merry Christmas, Sam Wainwright.
I always liked that boy.
Herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
Harry.
Hey, everyone! Hey, Mary! Looks like I got here too late.
Harry, how about your banquet in Washington?
I left as soon as I got Mary's telegram.
How about some wine?
Good idea. A toast to my big brother George, the richest man in town. Cheers!
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind?
What's this book, George?
Tom Sawyer.
Look, there's an inscription.
George, remember no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Love, Clarence.
What's that?
A Christmas present from a very dear friend of mine.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right. Attaboy, Clarence.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of auld lang syne?
This has been WBFR Playhouse of the Year's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. Please stay tuned for a program of popular holiday music. This is Freddie Fillmore signing off for WBFR in New York City and wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Good night.
For auld lang syne, my dear, for auld lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet